Recently, we were reading a Wall Street Journal article that called out that 70% of consumers had been purchasing new and different brands compared to pre-pandemic. And it suggested that inflation and supply chain issues were these major contributing factors. And it got us at Magid digging in and talking about this article, talking to our clients and to each other about the other underlying motivational and contextual factors that have deeper implications for brands. And we wanted to share some of that thinking with you as we explore this topic. If you want to join in this conversation, we'll share our contact information at the end, and we'd love to have you dive deeper with us.
Yeah, Beth, I thought that article was pretty interesting because it was suggesting that really it was simply the supply chain issues and inflation factors that really were the only motivators. And once those things dissipated, that people would sort of return to, normal purchasing patterns. And it kind of flies in the face of a lot of research that we've done throughout the pandemic and until now, which really shows that yes, while supply chain constraints, inflation, other factors have caused supplies to be limited in certain areas, that those factors those issues were really actually just motivating elements that pushed consumers to have to try other products, either in the same category or to change categories. And what's interesting is research that we've conducted that shows that, once pushed into buying a new product, a huge percentage of consumers actually really liked the alternative product.
Right. And as the pandemic dragged on, that shift in like where and how we shop, the ease with which new brands could be introduced to us as consumers, it set whole new patterns, I think, of desire and actually trying these different experiences. So the fact that that huge number of folks enjoyed the new products or experiences, we got that dopamine hit. We got excited about having a little bit of being uncomfortable, a little bit of serendipity brought back into our lives. We got comfortable being uncomfortable. And that started to unfold in like new patterns. And this brand churn is now becoming a part of that pattern that businesses have to actually pay attention to and plan for.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, what we found underlying everything is that, all of the shifting of patterns over a sustained period of time caused consumers to really rethink their lives, and so many aspects of their lives, from health and fitness to what they eat, to how they spend their time and money. And what we saw is a huge percentage, roughly 25-30% of the population who consume products in any given category, telling us that they've fundamentally changed their approach to the category, either what they're buying or how they're approaching it, how they're thinking about it. And underlying it all is really this dramatic shift in really how people are, what they value, and how they're spending their time and money.
Mm-hmm. I think pre-pandemic, brands and businesses were really lulled into this idea that loyalty was preference versus just exhaustion and wanting to just grab and go and get out. And so any brand that has been experiencing that churn, thinking that it's only supply chain issues, only inflation, they're going to be caught flat-footed on the back end of this. There's a lot of cofactors in that decision-making, as you were just talking about, and it's the motivations that have shifted. They've always been a part of that equation, wanting to buy organic, but maybe they can't afford it due to life stage factors. But some of the real questions that have to be asked now is, what's truly motivating consumers? And do you really know why your consumers are buying or trying your products and services? And how prepared are you to continue to align to those motivations in store, online, in the delivery world? What's that right balance? How do you grow your corner of the world?
Yeah, I think that's totally true. The underlying element, as you described, being motivation. And it's not just at the surface disruptions that are causing people to move to different things, products and services that they're purchasing, but what are those underlying motivations? How have consumer desires changed? And what does that mean in terms of what you have to deliver now to actually excite and delight consumers? We believe that equation has changed dramatically since pre-pandemic. And to really understand whether your products and services are frankly still relevant today, you really have to understand the underlying consumer motivations and how you can now crest that higher bar that consumers have in any given category.
Absolutely agree. At the end of the day, it's not just the supply chain issues. It's not just the inflationary triggers. Loyalty doesn't equal preference. And so digging deeper into and thinking about that consumer on a holistic level and all of the context that's going into that decision-making is essential. So if you want to discuss this topic with us more, or interested in hearing more about an actual motivation study that we're fielding, do reach out to us. You'll see our contact information show up on the screen here, and we're looking forward to continuing the conversation.